Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Gotham City. I'm your host, Levi Rosman. This is a podcast where I talk to people who live in the chess world on the 64 squares, but also beyond them. And in this episode, my guest is CDawgVA, also known as Connor. He is a YouTuber, he is a Twitch streamer, and he lives in Japan, and he's all about all things Japanese. He's got some of the most entertaining videos I've ever seen in my life with extremely high production quality. And honestly, you should definitely check out his content, and I hope you enjoy our conversation. What time is it in Japan right now?
8:15 a.m., which is okay, because that's normally around the time I get up, so that's not a big deal.
You texted me, you DM'd me and said that you had just woken up, and I thought I was like late, but it was 6 p.m.
I thought I was an hour. I thought I was an hour early, and then I was like, oh fuck, I'm an idiot. I could have just like got like an actual extra good hour of 30 minutes of sleep.
But man, you were like the second or third guest when I talked to Sagar from Chess Bakes India. Like, why would you ever wake up at 7 a.m. for a podcast? I mean, like, are you just busy the rest of the day, or are you just like?
Well, because the time zone sucks for Americans. That's like the thing that I've come to realize. That I love living in Japan, but like the time zone is terrible for working with like Americans. It's just like, and everything revolves around Americans because that's the world we live in.
Yeah, man, I get used to it, even though I might be a European in like 2 years.
Oh shit, let's go.
Yeah, maybe. I'm very fed up. I mean,
What are you considering so far?
I really like the Netherlands as a concept.
Yeah, that's good. Netherlands is chill.
You've been?
Yeah, many times. It's super easy to go from the UK, so it's like an hour flight.
So how exactly does this work? Because you're Welsh, but you grew up in Wales or in?
Yeah. I grew up in Wales, and so yeah, obviously when you're Welsh, you're just part of the UK, so you have British citizenship.
Right.
So yeah, you can just travel anywhere. But I grew up in Wales. Are we recording, by the way? Just
Yeah.
Okay.
I told you we were just gonna jump right in.
Oh, dude, that was like you said, jump right into it. That was super jump right into it. Yeah. So, from Wales, part of North Wales, grew up all my life speaking Welsh, doing that stuff. Did all my exams in Welsh, which is weird because in Wales, right? It's I think like 16% of the population speaks Welsh, right? So it's like, wait, it's a thing.
I didn't know that. I didn't know y'all had a language.
Yeah, we do. So we speak like so. But that's the thing, right? Is that so all the signs are in Welsh and English, right? Every public sign has to be in both, right? It's kind of like Quebec in Canada. I think it has to be English and French. Is that correct with my assumption there?
Could be but wrong, is it? Yeah. I mean, is Welsh like to the extent that French and English are that different? Oh, okay, okay.
Oh, sorry. No, it's totally different. Yeah, sorry. I thought you meant, is it like, sorry, I assumed what you were going to say there. So, like, it's like extremely different. Welsh is like a phonetic language. It's also got less letters. It's got a bunch of really strange sounds. Like one letter is which is just CH.
Sounds very Hebrew.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can't remember which. So it's like it's a Celtic language. So it takes from a lot of strange areas. And that was weird growing up because, you know, I mean, so I spoke English like a lot, obviously, because I live in the UK, right? So it's weird then having to go to school and then learn everything in another language that you don't really know the purpose of because you're a kid. You're like, why am I doing this funny language stuff? I don't get it.
That might be like of all the places you could grow up and go to school and learn the language of the country and then learn English, that might be one of the least used, right? Because like if you grow up and you learn Russian, okay, at least you can communicate with former Soviet countries or something. But wow,
it's weird because I mean, you're right there. You know, I live in the UK, and yet the language I did all my schooling in was unfortunately it's not very useful. The language has died a lot. That's mainly due to the English. Fuck English.
Yeah. Fuck them. Yeah, like today I was streaming and one of my opponents played the English opening, and I said I hate the English, and then someone in my chat said you and the Indians have a lot in common, and I was like,
It's true. I you know, whenever they're like, man, Britain sucks, I'm like, yeah, telling me, man. I'm not kidding.
But you okay? So this journey begins in Wales,
Right.
just so you're aware, I probably should have told you this before we jump in. Obviously, I like intro you, before the
Yeah.
before
Okay.
the
Oh,
podcast
okay.
starts,
Yeah.
like just separately. But
Mhm.
so the viewers will know a bit about you. But so it starts in Wales, and now you are 1995, right? You were
1996. I was born.
oh, I thought you were 6 months older than me. Okay, I'm 6 months older than you, but we're about the same age. So
Okay. Yeah.
you got into Japan in 2019, right? Or
Yeah. Yeah.
18.
I did. Yeah. At 19.
So that is fascinating to me. Obviously, I know a bit about that journey.
Yeah.
I know, at least from what I've read, you got
Mm-hmm.
signed, but did you get signed to do certain content, or were you doing that content and then you got signed? Like, to move
Yeah.
there. So how the hell did that happen? And I'm going to ask you a lot of stuff about Japan, and then we can
That's
talk a little bit
fine.
about chess, but yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. We could, yeah, don't worry about it. So yeah, I was basically doing anime focused kind of content. I call it like otaku content. It's
Mhm.
kind of content that's aimed towards somebody who would probably watch anime and maybe has a vague interest in Japan, stuff like that. The general culture of it, which is most people on the internet nowadays. But 5 years ago it wasn't like that. I mean it was, but it was kind of like really gearing up. And so I was doing anime content for about for 3 or 4 years at this point. And I had a sizable following, I'd say at the time. I think 300,000, 400,000 is pretty big, especially doing
Wow.
something that was quite niche at the time. And the agency that I worked with, they were basically so they were owned by a manga publisher in Japan. So they published manga all across Japan and then translated into English in some countries as well. They had a company that they owned, a subsidiary that was doing online manga, and we were promoting them. And through promoting them, one of the employees was like, "Hey, we should start an agency where we get these YouTubers that have been promoting our manga and bring them over to Japan, and then they can promote more stuff to do with manga and stuff like that."
Mm.
And I had a really good working relationship with them. They'd been really good, really professional, and I thought, all right, sure, I'll give it a shot. So yeah, just I didn't speak any Japanese or anything. I've been to Japan like twice, and I really liked it. And I thought, okay, sure. And then I really wanted to mix up my content and make videos about Japan. So anyone who doesn't know who I am watching this, I make videos a lot about Japan now. Just trying to do the weirdest stuff I can, I guess. So that's how I ended up here.
Yeah, we're gonna get into all that good stuff. So you just said you've been to Japan 2 times before you went.
Yeah, have you been to Japan?
No,
Okay.
it's on the list. It's a fascinating place from what I hear and
Yeah,
see.
it is. Yeah, it's definitely a strange place.
It's also a place I've heard you yourself say is much better for vacation than for
Yes, 100%. Yes.
habitation. I don't know, living.
Yeah.
So you can, like, I am the kind of traveler, like, some people will travel to Tokyo and sit in the hotel for 2 weeks and just, there's whatever. They think there's enough to do in Tokyo or maybe take buses. I'm the kind of person, like, if I'm going somewhere,
Yeah.
it's like, I don't, like, this is the last time I'll go to this country. So that's the way I was brought up. You have to visit every big city that you can. You got to drive everywhere. So, I would spend 2 weeks there and get the whole experience, Is that feasible in Japan? Or you got to come back?
Japan's one of those places where for some people it just really clicks. Like it's like vacation wise. Like they go there once and they're like, this is like the best place to vacation. Like
Why?
I think in many ways it's extremely comfortable. There's I think obviously you can go to a lot of places and it can be intense and it can be quite difficult and quite scary. I think Japan is really easy in many senses because you get all the comforts of home, but with this really bizarre, like other dimensional feel where like you feel like someone just grew alongside you, but like totally isolated. Like, but you get all the comforts of wherever you call home, probably, right? Like you can get all the nice food, you can stay in the nice places, you can have all the nice things, but also then experience some really cool culture and some whatever aspect of Japan you'll probably like, because I guarantee there'll be something, right? Whether you're a foodie, whether you're like you love the history, whether you love just being able to explore a country that's really insanely big with like tons of unexplored areas. Like there's something. God, I hate to say it, little something for everybody in Japan. I think there'll be something you like. I guarantee it. It's just one of those places that I've not met anyone who's been here who didn't find one thing that they like really enjoyed.
That's interesting. Yeah, I've never met a person who went to Japan and said that was a terrible trip.
Yeah, right.
Like I wish I didn't go. Yeah, it's always, even for skiing. Apparently, I learned you can ski in Japan. That's like a big thing.
I've been skiing in Japan as well. It's really fun. There's a bunch of places up north in like Hokkaido. You can do it. There's a really famous ski resort like really close to Tokyo. It's apparently some of the best snow in the world, I've been told. I don't know, but I don't know. I got to get Taryn that stuff up. I think I got to go do it. You should come out with me. You should come out with me. Yeah,
listen. I would love. Yeah, I would love that. I actually realized I've been to Japan.
Wait,
no, hold on.
Okay.
I realized.
All right.
I was in the airports for each big airport for 4 hours. So technically.
Wait, really? Wait, what?
Some years ago, I think when I traveled to like Singapore, because my uncle is there.
Oh,
so I had layovers in Tokyo, and I went to Narita and Haneda.
Haneda's like the new modern airport, and like Narita's like the shitty one.
Yo, listen to me.
Yeah, I know.
I'm from New York City. All right.
I know JFK. It's the fucking worst place on earth.
It's Baghdad and then JFK. All right. It's an airport with one plane and then JFK dude. It's so our ceiling leaks.
JFK does feel like some kind of like fucking war zone compared to like Japan airports, man. Like
our more domestic airport, LaGuardia, recently got a makeover. It's currently getting a makeover, and
I heard about this. Yeah,
they installed a floor-to-ceiling fountain that twirls in various shapes and plays music. I was like, that shit probably cost like $5 million. We could have put so much cooler stuff in this airport and more useful stuff, and. Yeah, but
put a fountain, just fucking drown the place.
And like kids are taking photos with it. Oh my god, it's such a disaster. Like, one thing I did notice that I think I would love about Japan is the actually the focus on like the little bits of the human experience, like using the toilet. I mean, I'm sure Japanese toilets are legendary.
They're so good. I think they're like notorious for being like just the best. Like I've never been. I've maybe I tell a lie. I've probably had like out of like the hundreds of public bathroom experiences I've had, right? I've probably had like 2 where I'm like, oh god, I can't do it here. But in the UK, it's like 50-50. You're literally like flipping a coin whether it's going to be like the worst thing on earth or not.
I went on a rant about this on stream recently. I don't. It's a 98% like when I walk into a public restroom to pee, I'm 100% using a stall unless I know there's no one behind me.
Like, is it that bad in New York?
No, well, that's just me. I hate urinals. Okay. I think urinals, like, I hate just, I hate urinals.
I hate the communal urinal. There's something about it that you can like splash on each other, you know.
I can reach over.
I get it on that. Yeah.
I can reach over and I'm touching penis. I mean, it like, and that's fine for some people, but I can't do it. I was at a chess tournament recently where the hotel had a toilet for all of us, and there was 3 urinals, and they were divided by a barrier that was like the width of half of your hand. I mean, it barely jutted out of the wall. It didn't make any sense. Like, why couldn't they have just... And
they just like ran out of building material halfway through.
And like, let me ask you a question. Okay, so let's say you walk into a toilet,
right,
a restroom, and there's 3 urinals. You're obviously going to go to the one that's furthest from the door, furthest from where you walked in. You're going to go to the farthest one. You're not going to go to the first one.
Yeah, I think I do that. Yeah, I think I normally...
You don't go to the middle one. You definitely don't go to the middle one.
And maybe if I'm feeling bold,
Okay.
maybe I want to make a statement to everyone else who comes in the bathroom. I'm like, listen, I'm a middle guy. Don't come near me.
You know what? I respect that. Well, I would go to the far one, and a dude would walk in and go to the middle one. He would stand next to me. He has a choice. He has a choice of I'm at the farthest one. He's got one by the door, split in the middle, or right next to me. He goes right next to me. I was like,
maybe it's like a comfort thing for him. Maybe he's like, he just doesn't feel okay. Like maybe he doesn't feel okay peeing alone. Like this man exclusively pees in public bathrooms because he just needs to feel next to someone.
Dude, Japan's toilets that I used at the airport, floor to the top, like all covered. You can't hear or see anybody else.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
that's the thing about Japanese society that, like, I think a lot of people really like, and they don't realize they like, because it is not something that you actively think about. But they care so much about, like you said, like the little everyday things, like so much here. But and it's not something that they talk about. It's not like they're proud of it. It's just like they just expect that here. Like it's expected that everything is super clean. Like it's not a question of, oh, should we keep this clean? No, it's a part of like society. It has to be clean. But
are they
like the streets are insane. You'll be shocked.
Well, probably would be shocked. I was going to ask you, is it like criminal to litter? Is chewing gum? What's the comparison between Singapore and you guys?
I don't even know, because I've never seen anyone try. like because it's
I tried to litter on Japan streets. Next video.
Maybe that's the next video. I litter to see how many times I get arrested. Like how quickly do I get deported? Like because okay, so I in the UK, I don't litter, right? Because I'm not an asshole, right?
Okay, fair.
But if I did do it, I probably would I probably wouldn't give a shit. You know what I mean? I'd probably feel like, all right, whatever, it just blends in, I'm not saying I'm doing it right, but like you feel like this, like such a force in your head saying, don't you dare even remotely litter when you get here. Because it's like when there's a little bit of a mess, maybe you don't mind contributing to it, right? That's like, but when there's nothing, you would immediately stand out if you threw any piece of garbage, right? So you feel this like great like pressure to like make sure you like contribute and don't litter or do anything.
Interesting. Yeah.
I love that.
Like
eating, right? Even with like eating, right? It's like, don't get like crumbs or stuff on the floor. It's stuff like that. It's really weird. People don't want to like get their like bits of food or anything on the floor unless it's like a street fair, then it's whatever. But in general, like you can't like eat on trains or anything as well.
I love that. I always say whenever the topic of Singapore comes up, like I visited, and Singapore also is a place that I could imagine traveling to. I don't know about living. I mean,
I want to go there. I haven't been yet.
It's a much cleaner, like Asian style New York, basically. Like I mean, listen, if Singapore listens to this and they're offended by that, I'm very sorry. I got like big city vibes, but we went to like some cool bars. We went to like the famous gardens and everything. But I think I would run out of things to do. It seems like a really good place to have like a nice, calm like life. Like my uncle moved there to raise a family. Right. To work there and raise a family. Japan seems like a place.
It's good for business, right?
Yes. There's a lot of business that goes in and out.
Yeah.
The fact how fast they managed to raise that country up from.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
Well,
same with Japan.
Well, I was gonna say compared to Japan, the question I was actually going to ask you is like when you got there and when this whole journey of yours began to move and everything. Did you make besides learning Japanese on the plane there? Right. Did you make a conscious effort to adapt just on a modern sense, or did you try to read about history, emperors, really like embed yours, or is it more like the otaku and like the kind of modern day stuff?
Yeah, I mean, generally my first like obsession with Japan, if you can even call it that, was basically through the history. I really found it always really interesting, and it's a mess. Like British history, it's just like it's like so fucking it's so goddamn confusing. But it's something that I definitely cared a lot about before I came here. But I'm not gonna lie, I like anime and stuff as well. But when I moved here, I started giving less shits about anime and all that stuff. It's one of those things. It's sad because I love anime and manga, but I have definitely fallen out of it after moving here. I think it kind of like knocks it out of you a little bit, and it becomes a little less special, which feels sad, but I guess that's being an adult, right? Like,
I guess.
I don't know. Does chess ever feel like that? Do you ever feel like it becomes less special over time? Is it something like that as well from competing more, or is it something that constantly stays at the forefront of your obsession?
That's a good question. I was definitely gonna like get the chess questions out of the way first, and I got more interested in you as a person than forcing chess down.
True. I'm sorry.
No. It's totally okay. Listen, I already know my YouTube comments. Spotify doesn't have comments, but YouTube's gonna be like, this was a really interesting episode, but there was very little talk of chess. I
have an anime podcast. And we don't speak about anime like at all, so don't worry about it.
That's fair. And your audience, loves the three of you. No, I mean chess is really weird because if you just isolate it to the board game itself, like you start a game on chess.com. Chess.com is the only website on which you can play chess, and don't get it twisted. Shout out to chess.com for sponsoring this podcast. Like you get a brand new game, anywhere from 5 moves in, 10 moves in. So from that standpoint, theoretically, it could never get boring because you're constantly, it's a constant challenge, improve, get better. It takes, incremental steps. Also, when you're like actively training to get better, it's the only thing you think about. Like I've had days recently because you also had to compete in some of these like tournaments.
Yeah, like way back when I was a kid though, like probably not to the same extent, but like it's like with anything, right? When I think when you're doing something at a high level, I think you just get obsessed. Like that's how it works.
Yes, it completely takes you over. I've had like a few days in the past few weeks when I was training, and after 3-4 hours, I'm just like, brain is completely fried. But then an hour later, I come back and I'm still thinking about it. So, but that's like on the board. When you think about I'm not a historian. I actually really am not interested in reading
the history
about
of chess.
Yeah, actually, like I would really labor through naming the amount of world champions we've had in order, and I think there's been 15. There's been 15 world champions or something like that, and I'm not sure.
That's a lot.
Actually, I'm not even sure how many world champions.
I don't know if anyone's asked you this question, but now that because when I met you, you're obviously doing pretty okay in content creation, but now you're doing very well. I'd say you seem like you've really picked up, right? Do you find that it has become a balance of content creation and chess, or is it, or do you feel like that because the content creation is chess that it hasn't got in the way? I'm curious because as a content creator who started doing something that I love, I can tell you my answer, but I want to hear yours.
So when we first collabed, that was July or August 2020, right? And I'm not even sure I had 6 figures on YouTube, and I remember being absolutely mystified by your sub count. Like I was like, oh my God, this guy is like the most successful YouTuber from Japan like I've ever seen in my life. Like a number like that. And then because when you're a nobody on YouTube and you see 1 million, you just think that these people are otherworldly. Like why would they ever even communicate with you? And then we like did a session. It was like so much fun. You played in this event. I'm sorry you didn't win.
I do. It happens, man. It happens. You can't get it all.
And then, I mean, Chess just kept collaborating with you guys for different things, Twitch Rivals or whatever.
Right.
It's just been amazing watching Chess grow and meeting some cool people. But now, fast forward to November 2021. It's a good question. So
it's tough, I imagine.
The way I think about it is my name or brand is going to be associated with chess basically like, forever is an anime kind of term, like a very dramatic and then cutscene.
It will be, I guess.
It's so it's a bit of a responsibility, but what I'm trying to do now is make sure I'm not 35 with kids and still making YouTube content.
You're like, honey, I can't help with the kids. Someone's pog champing in my chat. Give me a moment, honey.
Honey, I can't eat dinner. I got to stream. Which is like some people still do that, but I'm just saying that's in 10 years. So I'm trying to
Trying to build it so you can retire. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm definitely trying to get interested in a few other things, but no, specifically to content creation, dude, I don't think I can create content that's not chess. I mean, maybe. I mean, I've talked about voice acting, stand up, but it's chess through and through. What's the answer for you?
You've got a strong personality, I'd say. You know, I've seen your streams. You don't hold back. I think that there's a chance you could transition into being more of a personality. I think you are in some aspects, like not just a chess streamer. I mean, you wouldn't be doing. There's a lot of chess streamers, right? So I mean, like, you wouldn't be doing well if you didn't have something to stand out, right? At least in my opinion.
Yeah, I love those compliments. By the way, listen, keep them. Keep I'm like,
yeah, maybe I should just stroke your ego for the rest of the podcast. I don't know. I think one thing people can definitely admit is that you definitely have a strong personality, especially on stream. I've seen you.
Yeah,
you don't hold back, right?
Yeah, if anyone listens to this and you've only watched on YouTube, you don't know what you're missing. I've had kids walk up to me like, "I got banned from watching your Twitch, so I only watch you on YouTube."
Out here just batting out every 10-year-old that comes in your chat.
Yeah, I had a tiny girl walk up to me at a chest and be like, "Can you sign this paper?" And then she's like, "I tried to watch you on Twitch, but my dad banned me from watching your channel." I was like,
"Oh
yeah,
no!"
It do be like that, you know.
See, I had the opposite problem where the kids and their parents come out to me and they were like 10 and they would be like, "I love your channel." I'm like, "Please, can you stop this child from watching my videos? She's too young."
Yeah.
But definitely, for me, when I was doing anime content a lot, it definitely like kind of ruined anime for me a little bit for a long time. Now I'm kind of in a place where I feel like I can enjoy it again. But for a while, I was doing it so much that I felt pressure to be knowledgeable about it, but I didn't give a shit. I just liked some of the shows that I liked, and I would make stuff about that. And yeah, because when you're a public figure and you're associated with talking about a show, you're kind of expected to be like the authority head of talking about
it. Okay, that's a very interesting way of thinking about it. Yeah, well, chess is very that kind of changes my answer a little bit, because in some ways chess is very like, okay, if you do ABC, then DEF will happen.
Yeah. Right. Like if you're like, "Bro, the English opening is shit," right? You say that, right? And then someone like who's like a grandmaster is like, "Actually, Livy doesn't know what he's talking about." So
well, they don't have any subscribers, so you know.
I know, but you know, stuff like this, you know.
Yes, I completely agree. That I tried to when the Queen's Gambit boom happened and everything, I tried to build the path of people who wanted to learn chess and watch YouTube videos, and I just set the whole foundation, like from 0 to like 1500. And I love reading stuff like, "Yo, man, I started watching your videos, I was 600. Now I'm 1700 in a year and a half."
Wow.
Like, what? That's nuts.
Insane.
Yeah, that is nuts. And there's...
Was the boom really that big from Queen's Gambit?
So let me tell you, when we were collabing, you and I, middle of 2020, I would get like 100,000 views in 48 hours on YouTube.
Yeah, and I think Twitch, you were getting like less than 1,000 concurrent, I think, as well.
Yeah, like that would be 1,000. 1,000 would be a good day.
Yeah.
Once the Queen's Gambit went into full effect, I almost peaked at 3 million in 48 hours. Like that, like my highest ever was 2.7. I average, I mean, I don't go below 1 million in 48, I would say, like 900, 1.1.
Yeah.
I found the content that was good. I also admittedly upload literally every single day. So
yeah, I saw.
Well, my content doesn't require the amount of editing.
yeah, you don't have to leave your house.
So it's a little bit different, but the content creation has killed the side of me that is able to sit down and appreciate chess slowly. Like,
yeah, I can understand that.
I'm sure you figure this out with Twitch as well, and you like your attention span is gone probably. I mean, I don't know if you.
I don't enjoy gaming now on my own. Like, it's weird. Like I don't know what I've done in my brain, but I can't enjoy gaming unless I've got like an audience. Isn't that fucking weird? Like, what's wrong with me? Like,
that's interesting. Wow.
Like I can game off stream, but it's like significantly less fun for me. Like I feel like I'm so much more, I don't know. I feel like, because I enjoy putting on a show. So for me, it's like most enjoyable when I'm doing that. but also at the same time, I'm like worse at the game when I'm like streaming it. So it's like,
Oh yeah.
it's like I want to, yeah. I imagine the same thing for chess, right? Like when you turn off the stream, you can probably play at a higher level, but it doesn't matter because people aren't watching, right? Like,
yeah. Well, it's actually it's because now at least I made an attempt to go for this GM title, this Grandmaster title.
right. I'd be seeing that. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to not. I had to make a decision whether it was something that I wanted to do and sacrifice the content, and it's not. It's just not at all. So I'm gonna play a little bit, but I agree for sure. It's like I'll play to kill some time, but it's.
Yeah. Do you think getting the GM title will help your content like a significant amount? No. Is it just purely just for like so people stop fucking asking you?
It's weird. It like I would love to be that good because if I can consistently play at a level 150 points higher than I am now and get all the norms and everything, like it would be unbelievable. It would make for an amazing story. I could the content of me analyzing my own games at my own tournaments does better than 90% of my content. So it's even a good business decision. Yeah, people love it. Like they love cheering me on. I remember your videos will get 1 million views in a few days because you have like, you drop a video once in 10 days or something and it's like super well done. And it's like,
hopefully not all the time.
I tried every coffee, dude. I've like,
I try to. Yeah. I appreciate it.
It's like, I will be putting out just a video of a game, round 1 of my tournament, like 300,000 views in 24 hours. Like no problem. Again and again. So
do you care if you don't get the GM title? Like, does it like, or is it like an obsession that like you feel like you have to do it for the audience? Like, and what I wonder, because I remember there was like a league streamer one time. He used to do like this getting to diamond series, and it was like it got to a point where it was just like it was like sad to watch because he just couldn't do it, and he wasn't improving and he wasn't seeing any of his mistakes, and the comments started getting angry because then he was making the same mistakes every single day. And then people were just like, bro, come on, man. Like, like this is hard to watch. Like, do you ever worry about that? I don't know. I'm just wondering because I'm trying to figure out what the vibe is.
So to answer the first question, I genuinely do not give a shit if I am GM. Like
it's just content. It's just content. Let's do it.
It's content, and it would be a euphoric feeling. But if you told me right now you will never be ever become GM, I'll be like, whoa, that's great. That's such a monkey off my back because
right.
Now I can just focus on everything else. Like what's the problem? I can play for fun. You know what I always say? The day I hit GM, like 2,500, I am never playing classical chess again, ever. I hate it. Like, dude, imagine playing like 9 rounds, 4 hours every day. I mean, the stress, like
I mean, that's the reason I stopped playing chess competitively as a kid. That's like, because I thought this was insane that I had to play these 2-hour matches as like a 12-year-old. I thought this is like, you can't. I'm 12. I can barely focus on my own shit. Like,
I know. No, it's nuts. But you asked me, you asked me second part. There was of that question. It was Jesus, what was it?
Do you ever worry that like you might be like going in circles with it?
Yeah. So that's actually an interesting thing I'm dealing with now. Like when I make my recaps and I share it with people. Chess is not like League in the sense that, everybody can kind of see, you should have been out of position or whatever.
That makes sense. Yeah.
I get told things like, you play too passively in the opening. Like, no. Stop. All right. Like, no. Here's what happens.
Okay.
And then I know what I'm good and what I'm bad at, and I know my limitations when I play really strong players. I know the anxieties that I go through. I know everything about myself. I don't need the feedback of everybody else. And now we're in a time where if Hikaru's streaming, someone in his chat, what do you think about this? It's a time where every day, now everyone else has to deal with my journey too.
Okay, I see. Yeah, that could be quite annoying.
And we're in a world where every day, those streamers get asked the question and they're like, well, I'm just going to answer. And then, hey, did you hear what this person said about your journey? He said, you're a bitch. No. Like that's not actually what happens, but yeah. And then it's like, what do you think? So I got to the point where now anytime I'm streaming, they're like, "Did you hear what Hikaru said?" I'm like, "Whoa, what'd he say?" Like, I'll stop the music. I'll be like, What'd he say?" And they'll be like, "Well, he thinks that, like you're not at the level yet, and the only way to do it will be to make sacrifices and this and that and your style."
Oh
And
my
I'm like,
God.
"Wow, thank you so much. I'll incorporate that." Like, so it's annoying.
Yeah.
But at the same time, would you trade having the audience? Would you trade having the growth and the success? No. So
Yeah. True.
it's
I mean,
something.
I remember Ludwig said something along the lines of, "Yeah, there's like tons of grandmasters, not many. A lot of them can't make a living off chess." So
99%, yeah.
yeah, so it's at the end of the day, I guess you've won really. And then what? You got the roof over your head.
Yeah. That always is. I hate to fall back on that. Well, you got a career off this, but it's like, well,
it's it's difficult because as somebody who did a lot of voice acting content, because that was what I used to do before, a lot of people, I would, it was like, why is this guy being able to like make videos and get paid and get like a following when he's not even actively doing it as much as other people?
Yeah.
Right. It's one of those things that like is tough because people don't understand that it requires an awful amount of work to be able to take the ideas of this difficult concept and then like crunch it down to some entertaining package that you can then just give to someone, right? It's so much more work than people like to admit because they don't want to admit that especially if they don't like you, right? They don't want to admit that you're doing something of value to like the community. So it's tough. I really dislike the kind of mindset that you have only the people in the top are allowed to talk about this field, right? It's really dumb.
Yeah, I think that's very fair. I mean, number two, Antonio. I mean, on YouTube, guys, 2,000 elo guy, like 2,100 elo guy, and I'm sure he had to put up with a lot of crap. Like, at least I can say, well, I have this IM title. I can. I'm not GM, but at least I'm
right. I've always wondered as well with the IM, right? Because to me, as somebody who is not high rated, right? I'm like 1,200 on a good day, right? It's I'm a casual player at this point. Anything above 2,000 to me just seems like insane, right? Like you're just cracked at the game. And I understand that the difference between 2,300 and 2,500 is a lot, but it's very hard to like wrap your head around that.
Yeah.
So what is required for you to go from 2,300 to 2,500? Is it just like natural talent, or like how much work goes into that? That's what I'm curious.
It's 200 points.
Right. Like, thank you. I can do the math.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Like what? No, I'm fucking with you. Like, what is it? Like, what? How do you get that? Like, what do you have to do? Like, is it just memorizing, being like a robot? Like, what is it like?
Yeah. So it's a lot of openings, like a lot of openings, forcing your opponent into your preparation, and not just what you've memorized and what you know is like better or equal or whatever. It's knowing how to play the position after that. So you can get them to move 15 and go, I know white's better. And then they play a move and you're like, that wasn't in my file, which means it's a mistake. And you lose the game immediately because it's a hot position, because it was better for you if and only if you found the next 5 moves. And
I see.
But there's a lot of mental stuff too. It's respecting yourself to be on the level of a 2,500, actually putting them under pressure, not just playing them for a draw, which is one thing that I get a lot of. Like, you play too passively against the stronger guys. Not always, actually. The most anxiety I get against stronger players is when I'm better. Like,
you're in a better spot.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm gonna fuck this up. It happens all the time, and sometimes I play through it and I win, or sometimes I mess up and I'm like, oh, self-fulfilling prophecy. And
I mean throwing a lead feels way worse than just getting crushed. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like straight up. Like, I don't think anyone will admit that.
I don't know if you saw my tweet, but after the most recent over the board loss I had, and I actually withdrew from the tournament, I retweeted this. I mean, I tweeted out this clip, very famous clip. They interviewed a grandmaster after his game, and all he said was, I was completely winning. If I don't kill myself tonight, I'm going to live 1,000 years.
That's such a good quote. I didn't see that. I gotta check that out.
It's
oh my god.
It's a gangster quote. But Yeah, it's surreal, and chess is so niche, and now I'm at the spot where I'm not just like building around the growth. I'm at the spot where I literally am
Mm.
the growth because it's
Right,
slowing
right.
down. Like it's slowing down, and I have to keep pushing it. Like
Yeah.
if it means I don't know. I mean, building some sort of new thing that hasn't existed yet.
Mm.
Writing
I,
something, every interview I can take, late night show,
yeah.
whatever. So,
Well, I think chess is just coming in waves. I think every single thing that pushes it more into the normal sphere will bring more of an audience. But yeah, I imagine it's in waves because I imagine not everyone who comes to chess from like Queen's Gambit stays around permanently, but maybe they come back. And it's kind of yeah.
well,
Damn.
you played as a kid, and
Yeah, that was a fun experience.
then you came back as in Queen's Gambit at like time, or
Before Queen's Gambit, and then Queen's Gambit came, and then I felt like I had just gotten in the line right before everyone turned up to the line. Like it was kind of strange, but I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's not a competition. You don't get fucking points for giving you shit 2 months earlier. Yeah, I used to play as a kid competitively. I don't know how good I was because I was never actually rated. So because I wouldn't. I think you'd have to be in like FIDE or something. I don't know.
or the Welsh Scholastic?
Yeah. I'm not sure. I know that. So I was just playing in my very small town school, and we played against another school where their coach was like an avid chess fan, and he was basically trying to coach these kids so that they could win the whole thing.
Yeah.
And got completely blindsided by this one random kid in this tiny school that just like beat their best player, and then they were like, what the hell? And then it was a thing of like he was asking my parents like who taught me, how did I learn and stuff, and my parents didn't know. They were like, what do you mean? Like they were like completely confused why this guy was asking so many questions, because as well, like at this time, chess obviously was seen as a thing of it was an intelligent thing, right? Yeah, of course, by like a normal person. But my parents didn't give a fuck. They were like, they could care less about it. They were like, what? We don't understand why we should care. But I like chess. It was fun. And so I was doing it. And the guy, when I beat the kid, he was like, you should come to this trial thing. And so it was like 2 hours away from me in England. And I would turn up, and then it was so cool. It was like an anime for me, bro. It was like you get there, you're at like the tournament arc, right? Like I just turn up, and like all these other kids who are apparently good at chess, and we're just like playing, and it's like seeing who's the best. And I don't know how it works in America or whatever, but at least how it worked for me was that basically if you won X amount of games, you'd be put in the team. And if you won a game, you would go against a stronger player, and if you lost a game, you'd go against a weaker player.
Makes
and
sense.
so you would basically just climb up, and then they would select from the top. So I remember I was winning them, and I was like, this is good. And then I finally went against someone who I was like, oh shit, chess is hard. Because to that point, right, in a small town, like I was, it wasn't difficult to win like every game because no one was playing it, and they were all kids. And but yeah, I made that team. I made like the county area, and I was like board like 5 or 6 or something.
Only
And,
5 or 6. There was that many people better than you.
Yeah, there was like 30 people on this team.
Oh, okay.
And it was like the whole area of like Cheshire and what was it, Cheshire and Warrington or something. Like no, it was like a big area. And I was playing it, and I was having success again. I was doing well somehow, even though I hated when they were teaching us. Like I hated how they taught us, because I'm like 12, 11, right? They're telling me about openings and stuff, and I'm like, I don't care. Let me just play chess. Like why are you telling me this stuff?
That's why I could build a YouTube channel, because no one was teaching chess well. So
right. Because we would have this really stuffy 70-year-old man who it was like, I don't know how chess is in other countries, but at least for this group of people, I remember chess was like an honorable thing. And then there was a bunch of 70-year-old men, and they took it very, very seriously, and they spoke exactly how you'd expect them to speak. They were like, yes, Connor. So this is you have to do the English opening. You see, it's the only opening that, stuff like that. Like, They would speak like that, right? That's the kind of, they were really nice. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. They were very nice, very polite. But it was just like really bizarre for me, and it was like I'd been put in some kind of movie.
Oh my
because
god!
I came from a small town. People didn't speak like that.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
And it was really stuffy. And this is about the time when the Nintendo DS came out for me, and it was hard to keep my attention. And I remember specifically, right, that after I would playing for the county a bunch, I'd won, and I was doing very well, and I had like a good record. I think my record was like 5-1 or something, 5 wins, 1 loss. And I was and then the country Wales was like, hey, can you play for our team? And I was like, sure. And then this is where the games just got like not fun. Like this is where games were just like, it was a minimum 2 hours. And if I had lost within 30 minutes, I would get told off. Like they would like in front of everyone.
Wow.
And like the parents, they would like shout at you. They'd like chew you out. And like my parents drove like 5 hours or something to take me here, and then they were like, "Oh, he just lost in 30 minutes and got chewed out for everyone. This doesn't seem like a very fun thing." And I'm like, yeah. And I would bring like my Pokemon games with me, and I would play them. And I was like the only one there who was playing Pokemon, and everyone else in between the games was like talking about chess, but I never wanted to talk about chess. I just wanted to play it. And so it became a thing of like, okay, I feel very alienated. And also a lot of these kids, at least where the team I was playing for, except for one kid, weirdly, the bully from my school, the worst kid was board number 1 for Wales. Randomly. I didn't know. I just turned up and it was like a secret. He hadn't told anyone. But the school bully was like the best player in the country for our age group. And I was like, what are you doing here? But everyone else except for me and him had like a really well-off background. They went to really good schools, and it was like a different universe talking to them. And I distinctly remember like the stuff they would ask me, I was really confused by. Like stuff about like I remember
having a summer home or.
Yeah. So there was one time a kid basically asked me something along the lines of like, he was like shocked that I didn't have afternoon tea like daily. Right?
Aren't you like 11?
Because he came from his parents owned an estate, right, which is not uncommon.
What do you mean you don't have tea? Sorry.
He was like, I remember we were playing, and he said something along the lines of, I don't like these tournaments because we can't have afternoon tea. And I remember asking, what is afternoon tea? And then he explained it to me, and I was still confused. I love afternoon tea now. I would love to have it often, but that's when I like, looking back, I realized, holy fuck, I was way out of my depth in every aspect. I'm too fair. My parents were also like, they didn't know what was like going on. They were like,
so I actually have like that's a fascinating thing that you brought up because, I mean, you were like a recreational scholastic player. Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
I was,
definitely.
I get that, and I know.
You're the kind of person who'd kill me when I was like 12, probably. Like you'd destroy me in a tournament.
Yeah, but it's funny because I think I was more like you than the other kids.
Right.
I had like a gift. Yeah, like I had a gift for the game. I wasn't obsessed with working, and I rode that talent up until 12. I quit chess virtually from 12 to 15. Yeah. But no, what you just brought up was so fascinating because I've always, like, before I was streaming, I was teaching chess in some of the wealthiest private schools of New York City. And
exactly right.
I've had Russian oligarch children picked up in bulletproof cars.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
And those kids were the biggest problems in the classroom because they would be like, I actually don't want to play chess today.
Yeah.
And they would just look you in the face like I could kill you if I wanted. And if I told my father.
Yeah.
And I'm looking. Some of my funniest stories were like
it's a status symbol, right? So it's if you're wealthy, you can kind of push your kid towards it because it looks good. Like it's seen as an intelligence thing. It still is.
Parents totally do it because it's like hot, and also because it's yeah, it's correlated with some degree of intelligence. I mean, it's still a great thing for kids to do, but also they're thinking about college from the age of 5.
Yeah.
And
it looks good on the resume. I mean, I got a lot of questions about it because I would put it on my resume, and it was always brought up in job interviews when I did it. So I mean, not bad.
Not for me.
Really?
Yeah, it was always number 1, and you know, I was like a master level player, and no one ever brought it up.
Maybe it's because when I was applying in like a small town, so they were probably like, "This is kind of unique, huh?"
Maybe. Well, the craziest thing that I've ever been asked, like a 6-year-old was talking to me. He's like, "Yeah, you know, like in our summer home in Miami, like we have this human-sized chess set. Do you have a human-sized chess set at your summer home, Levy?" And I was like, and then this was one of these families that, some wealthy folks also live unique lifestyles. And
of course.
One of the pair of twins in my class were born, they had 2 dads and they had a surrogate mom.
Okay.
And they were explaining the process of being born to a surrogate parent to another 6-year-old one day.
What?
And I remember like very distinctly this kid being like, "You've never heard of a surrogate? You're so weird." And I'm just like, "Y'all are 6? How do you even know? How can you? What?" Like, I'm so blown away.
I can't even spell surrogate, so
it was so amazing. And I mean, you really meet some brilliant kids, some like really interesting kids. But yeah, you definitely get, oh my God. And sometimes you have like a awful kid with the nicest parents. Like,
yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
Like, I don't know, maybe.
Sometimes kids are little shits though, right? Sometimes they grow out of it. I don't know.
we're currently dealing with like a family that lives above us that has 2 extremely loud children.
Oh no. And I am that loud child in my apartment building.
Are you?
No, maybe I am. I'm trying to soundproof my room, so hopefully it isn't the case. But
I don't think I'm that loud when I record, but I mean, these kids come home 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. I mean, they're just like, today it sounded like they were playing bumper cars with the dining room chairs. Like, I mean,
yeah,
but,
yeah.
Oh my God, we've been talking so long. I was going to ask you a question about, about first of all, your content. So I mean, I've watched like a ton of your stuff because it's really entertaining. It's really well done.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
One of the things I was absolutely fascinated about was your ear cleaning video, because I want to go for an ear cleaning, and that actually kind of alleviated some of my anxiety.
It's rough. I did not like it.
So first question,
mm-hmm.
What is your workflow like? How do you plan this stuff? Do you have like a notepad of ideas of, I want to spend 72 hours in a room, or I'm going to try all the coffee here. I'm going to do my, like, what is your, I'll tell you, I have a sticky note on my desktop of like 10 video ideas with thumbnails and everything. Like, where does it start for you?
I mean, I consume a lot of YouTube. I watch an awful lot of YouTube. It's like, I spend easily the most time on watching YouTube as opposed to any other form of entertainment content. So I feel like I get a lot of inspiration from just watching YouTubers. I see what works for them, and maybe I'll take it and twist it a little way. Just kind of reading the flow of what's popular, what's kind of doing well, what people are interested in. You know, and with videos in Japan, it's tough because it's a lot of competition. There are a lot of people who are making videos in Japan. But I try to go for the stuff that people wouldn't feel comfortable doing. Like, I try and go for the stuff that no one else is stupid enough to do it. Like, I want to be the guy who puts himself in really awkward situations. So I'm looking for stuff that kind of, my number one criteria when I want to make a video is I need to get involved somehow. Like, I don't want to be a bystander just kind of watching a person do a thing. I want to be able to join in. So definitely, like, that's the number one priority. Like, got to find something where they will let me join in. If it's not normal that they let people join in, let's see if they're willing to let me do it. So that's the thing I could think about. Try and find something uniquely Japan, or something that Japan has its own twist on. So I do sometimes videos with crane games. Like, arcades are a massive thing here. So after a while I was like, I should make videos just doing crane games in a fun way, because like that's I think it's fun watching people just play crane games sometimes, but like add a competition to it, make it entertaining. So yeah, so the workflow of finding the idea is research. Maybe something pops up on Japanese TV, maybe something I see online, maybe another YouTuber went somewhere, but I think I can do something different. Or I have a friend who's in my videos a lot. She's called Shibuya Kaho. She's a Japanese woman. And she brings me a lot of ideas. She is like, hey, Connor, I found this thing. Is it something you're interested in? If so, I'll contact them and I'll arrange it. And I'm like, that is amazing. You're a godsend. Thank you so much. Let's do it. And so, yeah, like I did a video where I rented a boyfriend. So you can rent, anything in Japan. You can rent a dad, a mom, a girlfriend, a boyfriend. You can rent, like it's so serious. Like you can rent anything. And I had been trying to get this video for a long time. I really wanted to rent a boyfriend because the clickbait on that is insane. Like you see that title, you can't not click it. If you see I rented a boyfriend in Japan, people are going to click that. Like that's just because that's so bizarre. So I've been trying to get this video for a long time. Problem is, a lot of websites did not want to participate in this. Like a lot of Japanese companies did, just because you have to understand as well, because LGBTQ stuff here is like archaic. There is a big community for it, but only like on a nation level and a government level, it's like not at all. Like it's not.
So it's is it kind of like China, like in the sense that like it exists, but like keep to yourself?
Not as bad. It's definitely a lot more. It's kind of like a thing of like people don't care here, but that's the thing. They don't care, so they don't care to change any rules. And they don't care to they don't care about it enough. But the thing is sometimes businesses don't want to be associated with that, which is,
just
whatever.
in case.
It's I don't hold it against any business that doesn't want to. I'm like, I understand you got to do what you think is right. Like, right. But luckily we found one company where the guy was like, yeah, dude, which guy do you want? We'll give you any guy for free. Just like link our website. And I was like, yes, thank you. But this is like months of reaching out to companies, because you can't just rent a dude and turn up with a camera. Like he'll just be like, no, like he won't have it.
Right.
And also I don't want to do that. Like I don't want to ambush someone. If someone's going to appear on my YouTube channel where they might be seen by like 1 million+ people, I don't want them to be like not knowing that.
3.3 million
on that video. That was and so you get the concept, then you got to think, all right, how do I give this some like structure, like a 3-act video? It was unfortunate with that video actually, because everything went wrong, but it still worked out in the end. It's tough. Coming up with ideas is the single biggest thing I struggle with. Because
really,
the more I try and up my game. The problem is when you up your game too much, you cannot get away with doing like easy videos, right?
Yeah. Because then like a tier list video, like I saw comparatively.
I did a tier list one, yeah.
Like those are always like easy and fun, but they don't get as much,
Yeah. And I made this mistake of, well, now I upload weekly, or like I've missed it a few times recently because I'm trying to give myself some room. But like I've had videos that have been in like approval limbo for months. Like I have to get approval by Japanese companies or third parties, and it can take months. And these are videos as well that take like I've had a video that is a really big project that's coming out. It's insane that I managed to get it done. It is basically finished on my end, but I have to wait for like 4 layers of corporate approval. And in the US, it would probably be a little quicker, but in Japan, it's a lot longer.
I also imagine, I mean, I don't know, you could correct me if I'm wrong here. If someone takes even 2 days long, you can have your agents press them. I imagine in Japan, it's a little bit more.
No, you can't do that. And if companies here do not like surprises and they take a very long time, and I'm used to it now, but I was in the beginning, I was appalled at what some of these companies would ask me to like remove and take out and put in, because I went to like a press event one time, and press events in Japan aren't like press events in the US. A press event in Japan, they get to review everything that you write or post about it.
Okay.
You can't just turn up and say what you want. So I went to a place, they didn't pay me, it was a press event, and I made this video and I had to send it in to review. I thought, I didn't say anything bad, right? I didn't say that it was shit or anything, but I had some criticisms. They made me like literally remove all of it.
Wow.
I was furious. I was so angry because this isn't what is this? Like, it's not a press event. This is just a promotion event. I may as well, you want me to just like stick a little label and just say, hey, everyone, go here, go to this thing. I was really annoyed because even things that didn't even relate to it that were like they deemed as negative comments had to be removed.
Wow.
Like, it was like me saying like it was like me saying I don't like drama. And they were like, can you remove that? Because drama fans might be annoyed that you said that. No joke. Stuff like that.
So, here, like, you can virtually say anything about anyone. I mean, it's so if you're making your videos, I mean, you got a big responsibility. Like some of your videos, I mean, the average is 1 million views. I mean, it's like no joke. Yeah. So, it might even be more. Like you can probably criticize and ridicule and mock either very specific things in Japan that kind of are acceptable to do that, or very generally. But if you even mention a company, like you could be in serious trouble, right? Like, is it that bad?
Yeah. Defamation laws in Japan are like really, really one-sided to the plaintiff. You don't in Japan, right? This is from my understanding of the defamation laws in Japan. You don't need to, even if what you say is true, right? I could have hard facts that what you did is messed up. But in Japan, you just need to prove that the reason why they're saying it is to be malicious. And then that's enough to sue them. Like you can pay damages off the fact that not off the fact that you said something that affected their business, but that you said something intentionally to ruin business. You didn't do it because you were like trying to like help people or anything. Like they just have to prove that you tried to hurt their business.
Uh-huh.
And it's the same with individuals. Like, it is really worrying. Like I got kicked out of, I was doing a review of love hotels in Japan. Love hotels are hotels where you can pay for like an hour, right? And I was filming with a friend of mine who's a guy, and even though these hotels, right, the idea is that you don't see anyone. You go to a machine, you get a ticket, you go. So the whole point is privacy because you're fucking, right? That's what the hotel is. So
in case anyone was confused, it's not love.
Right. So it's all built around privacy, right? They don't see you. You don't see any staff. You never see anyone this whole time. Like the whole point is that you do not see a single person of staff.
You don't see the person you have sex with?
Oh, sorry. So you do, yeah. So
I was like, is it like just the okay? That's
no, like
okay.
You don't see a single staff member because the idea is the staff aren't supposed to know, but they have cameras, so they're watching you. But the idea is they're not supposed to look at you because a lot of people cheat in Japan, right? It's a big thing in the culture. So we go to get this ticket in a few hotels, and then we're about to go to our room, but there's two guys. And now it's illegal in Japan to discriminate against a gay couple or anything in Japan. We weren't a gay couple. We were two guys, but they thought we were a gay couple. And you can't kick someone out in Japan legally in Japan if they're a gay couple. So they would stop us and tell us you need to leave. So we left. And people in the comments were like, why didn't you name the hotel, like name and shame them? Right. Well, it's because I would get sued and I would probably lose because I would be doing it in a malicious sense in somewhat. And also I'm a foreigner, so I don't want to take, it's my word versus a Japanese guy's word. So I'm not risking it,
What is the balance between, like, I hear both things, right? I hear in Japan, oh, you're a white guy, it's gonna be like they're gonna have like this parade, right? Like you hear this stuff. Like I've had people, bullshit. I've had people, cause no, I mean I'm completely serious. Like this is what you hear. This is what you hear. In Singapore, I was just treated like anybody else because Singapore is like a whole mix of people. I went to China. I didn't go to like Beijing, but I was in China for World Cadet Chess Championship. Like people sat next to me at malls and didn't say anything to me, just took a selfie of me and him, like the back of my head.
That's strange.
Because we look different. Like they've never seen people like us ever in their lives. It's not that. I imagine. But we hear the opposite. We also hear they really like Japanese people in Japan, and they want to kind of keep it that way. So
yeah,
what's true?
they're totally used to foreigners of any kind. It's like you could any skin color or ethnicity, people won't bat an eye. Like it's so normalized, at least in Tokyo. Maybe in the countryside you'll get a look or two, but nothing like that. It's strange. It's a very homogenous society. It's very Japanese, and they're not like, it's not a xenophobic or racist culture, but they just want people to like fit in. So it's kind of, and I think there is a lot of miscommunication that comes in from that. But don't get me wrong, there is definitely people here who are xenophobic, like in any country, stuff like that, right? Like that's how it is. But in general, you're fine. Like you're good. Like you'll be fine. But there is, it is notoriously the judicial system here is questionable. So I'm just trying to. I'm not even risking it. I don't even want to even go anything close to it. I've heard horror stories. I don't even want to go near it.
That's sort of the vibe I get with a Singapore as well.
Yeah.
You get your freedoms, but
Singapore's a democracy, but it's a democracy.
That's one thing I don't fully understand about these governments.
Because Singapore's had it's had like the same party winning by a large majority every year.
That's what I mean. And
yeah,
and Japan has a family. Is that what it is? Or
no. It's got a party as well, but the party's been in power for a very long time. Because it's all about the status quo in Japan. They don't want anything to change, even if it's going downhill. Because to Japanese people, they want everything to be expected. They want to know what's going to happen, and so there's a sense of like they don't want to like change things up drastically. So they vote for the same party all the time, and people don't talk about politics here. They don't talk about it. It's like a taboo.
Interesting.
But it's like politics here is like mind numbing. It's really depressing.
But do things make sense? Like, do tax brackets make sense? Like, roads are good. If society is good day to day, you won't complain. I mean, you don't have rampant gun violence. You don't have.
That's the thing, is that the greater economy of Japan is like struggling. And because the population is aging rapidly. But day to day life is great. But I think young people have it really hard here because they're working insane hours for like minimal pay, but the quality of life is good. But the work hours are insane. Like people are working like crazy hours here.
Like,
and
80, 90 hours a week, or
it's not unheard of that I have friends who wake up at 8, stop working at 12, and do that 5 days a week.
Wow. In what industry? Like banking?
Just like office working. Like it's just because they're notoriously inefficient a lot of times in Japan as well. So stuff that you could get done very fast is just bogged down through a lot of like politics, company politics, and just the way they do things. They don't like to change the way things are done here. It's just like how it is.
Well, that's it. I was gonna ask you a question, but I guess it's different whether you like are in your 20s and you've moved to Japan for work, or whether you grew up there. But
I'm fortunate. I don't have to deal with being an office worker or an English teacher, which is like the horror stories. I have the best of both worlds. I can work in Japan and do whatever I want with my channel and my content, but not have to deal with the insane work hours. Like they have a word for like death from overworking.
Yeah, they do.
Like
I know.
And it's got one of the highest suicide rates. And like throughout the pandemic, right? Like the suicide rate was higher than the COVID deaths. It's like a real big problem here.
Wait,
there's like no mental health help at all.
Oh, but I was gonna say, wouldn't COVID have stopped the working yourself to death, but the mental health overtook it?
But then you go home and you have to work from home now.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But the suicide rate has been a big problem in Japan for a while. It's gone down a lot from what it used to be, but it's still definitely a problem because like mental health is just like not a thing here. Like it's just not something that is considered. It's getting better, but it's very slow.
So then what is suicide considered? Is that considered like a sick person, or is it just considered because everybody else has done it? You know what I mean? It's one of those things like
I don't know, man. It's tough. It's weirdly kind of, when I've spoken to people about it, it's kind of like because a lot of people, you'll be on the train and the train will stop and it will say human accident on the train, right? And you
Oh
don't know
my,
what it is. You
oh
don't know what it
wow.
is. But like a lot of the time, a lot of people have either been at a station or they've been on a train where somebody has jumped in front of it. Like it's depressingly common. Like if you're here for any
Wow.
extended amount of time, it'll be something that you'll experience at some point.
Wow.
I know most people have either been like at the train station or been on a train where it's stopped because of it. Luckily, I've never seen it. I've seen some weird stuff where like people were about to do it and someone stopped them.
Wow.
Um,
Jesus. I was on a train in New York
yeah.
City that hit a person.
Oh my god, it's horrible. It's really horrible.
You know, it's interesting. Like now, whenever I've like told the story before,
right.
um, I it doesn't it like I'm completely numb to it. It's like really weird.
Right.
You know, I feel like everybody like goes through these things in life very differently. Sometimes you have a moment you think about something you've thought about so many times and you completely experience it differently. But yeah, I was like on the way home and we stopped and we all had to walk through the car because one of our doors was in the station.
Oh, wow.
And you know, there was a bunch of cops and everything. I remember walking home like we just like someone straight up just died. And then I like a switch. Like, dude, you're gonna experience so much trauma in life.
Yeah.
Don't even think about it. Yeah, that's insane.
It's tough because you wanna care, but also it's hard to empathize with everything that's going on, right? Especially when you got your own stuff to deal with. So it's hard, man. You know, and it's a shame because Japan is like, don't get me wrong, it's like an amazing country, and it's just it's struggling in a few areas, but like, what country isn't, right? Like, I feel like, you know,
talking
like,
to an American, dude.
right. You know, I mean, I'm from the UK. I know how it is. Like, where a country is, like, yeah, it's rough right now. But you know, it's easy to I like to talk about Japan and as it's like as a total. Like, you get the amazing things, you get the bad things, and you get the really sad things. Like, I think it's important when you're talking about a country to be realistic, especially if people want to move here. Like, it is a country that is quite sad sometimes. It's people don't socialize as much, people aren't as open. Like, it's tough.
Are you worried at all that it's such an immersive world, like almost VR compared to the rest of the world, that once your lease is up in 2 years, coming back to the rest of the world is going to be horribly underwhelming or difficult to come back to?
You know, I want to be successful enough where I can have a home here as well, that I can just like,
okay,
I'll be that guy who is the kid, and that kid's going to have afternoon tea and and alienate the other kids. That's what I want. I
Japanese
want
boarding school.
Honestly, I don't, if I ever leave Japan, it'll definitely be a second home. Like, it'll be somewhere that I definitely spend a lot of time. And in some ways I would kind of like it because then I can just come back as a tourist and just enjoy it a lot more. But this Japan is definitely my home right now. I love it to death. And I think loving a place a lot requires you to also look at it critically and want to help improve and want to contribute to society, you know? Like, I want to give back, and just participate. You know, people have been very nice to me here, and I want to pass that down.
Are you in Tokyo, or do you not talk about where you?
Yeah,
where you are?
I'm in Tokyo. Yeah,
got it. I don't know what that's like. That's like if you asking if I live in
the
five boroughs or something.
Right. You like, you know, one cool thing about Japan, actually, I'll just say this quickly, then we can move on. But like, so much wealth is in Tokyo, right? So they have a system in Japan where you can choose which part of which region of Japan your tax money goes to.
What? Wait. Yeah. Sorry? What?
You can, so there's this portion of your tax money, I don't know how much, you can choose it to go to another region, like a poorer region. Because so much wealth is in Tokyo. So you can give it. And then if you give your money to, say, like, I don't know, like a place that specializes in wine, they'll send you like wine as like a thank you.
That's sick.
Isn't that amazing? Like,
wait, so but is there like a federal Japanese tax?
So I'm not exactly sure how it works, but I know that.
What do you mean? Don't you pay taxes?
I do, but I'm not doing it. My accountant does it.
Oh, okay.
But you can send off a portion to another region if you want to support that region and help them out, because the population in the more remote regions is like dwindling massively. There's so many abandoned areas of Japan
because people are dying off.
Yeah. The kids are all moving to the cities, and the people aren't having babies. and no one wants to work in the countryside because there's not as many good jobs. Like you can't make as good a living.
Are people not having kids because it's like a personal choice, or because it's unsustainable to raise a kid?
It's like impossible to raise a kid and work at the same time in Japan.
Jesus, that's so
and
wild.
also, you know, women value their careers here and they want to climb the ladder, you know, fair. And people don't have sex as much here when they get older, apparently. From the
Older
statistics,
as in
I don't know,
older,
like 30 plus, they stop. Yeah,
right,
it's
I got about 4 more years and
well, you know, and even when they do have kids, they have one. So yeah, I mean, you can read all about it. Like it's like a giant problem that Japan is facing, and they keep kicking down the line.
Russia has the same. Like your average age is whatever the correlation.
Right. Because people, it's not like a thing that gets you when you're in politics. You don't campaign on, I'm gonna fix the problem that's coming in 50 years that's gonna fuck us. You know, it doesn't work, right?
That's so fascinating.
Yeah. Sorry, I just turned this into a Japan podcast.
I love it.
I can talk about it for days. I mean, it's such an interesting country and it's an amazing one. And if any of the viewers haven't been to Japan who are watching this, like I highly recommend going. You will love it, I'm sure. The food is the best. Straight up, the best food I've ever had.
Is it pure Japanese, or you mean they make all food great?
Everything. Every food I've had is great. Like I've had, because you get like Italian dishes with the quality of Japanese fish. So it's like it goes a long way. It's really good.
Is so here like sushi is like a big thing. I
know, yeah.
Is that the same there? Is it like an art form, or do they have much more than that? Okay.
It's a big deal, but you don't get any of the rolls. You don't get like the American sushi, like the deep fried crab in the sushi roll, like what
California
the fuck
roll,
right. Yeah. Like I'm like, what? I love the rolls, but I don't like consider that sushi. Like sushi for me is like you sit down, the guy makes it right in front of you, he gives you it, or you can go to a store and get like you can go to the 100 yen stores, which is like 95 cents for like 2 pieces of salmon sushi. And the thing is that this like garbage chain sushi in Japan is like infinitely better than anything you'll get outside of Japan. Like it's insane. I didn't know how good fish could taste raw until Japan. It's really good. When you go here and you have it, you'll see what I mean.
Okay, you'll take me.
I'll take you.
I don't eat that much fish. Like it really takes me a little bit of convincing and mental.
All right. We'll try. We'll change your mind.
I've been at places when I travel that only make seafood, and I'm like, all right, it's either seafood or starve. Yeah. So.
Oh, dude, you can. There's tons of meat. You can live off fried chicken if you want to here. It's very easy.
Oh yeah, you guys also have the Wagyu, right? So that's the.
Yeah, Wagyu too. I like Wagyu.
That's a big thing there. I was gonna talk to you a little bit about either getting recognized or is that a thing that happens there, or?
Very, very rarely. It does happen, but I kind of like that. I like that I don't have to worry about it.
I liked it. Yeah, I liked it a lot better than getting recognized in my local pharmacy. I'll tell you that. Yeah.
When I went back to the UK recently, I got recognized more than I thought I would, and it was really weird because I was just at the pub with my mates, like drinking, and then just someone comes up to me in front of all my friends, and I was like half drunk, and I'm like, oh yeah, this happens. This is weird. Hi, yeah, this is me. I'm the guy. How you doing?
How did it go? Were they like, yo, are you CDawg? Like what?
Yeah, I was just talking to my friends, and then my friends look behind me, and I was like, oh, and there was just a guy standing there, and he's like, are you CDawg from Trash Taste? And I was like, yeah, I am. And then he just stood there. And I was like,
oh no.
And then I was like, you want a photo or something? He was like, no, I'm good. It's nice to meet you. But it was like because it was so awkward. I was like, what I should say something because I thought he's just gonna stand there. And his like girlfriend was like behind him. So it was like
it gets
awkward.
Worse.
So I was like, dude, say something, man. Like,
oh, it gets worse. Yeah.
But he's fine there. He's a nice guy.
Yeah. Listen, he might he might watch Gotham. He might listen to this.
Maybe he's a big Gotham man.
What if this is the crossover of his life, and here he is in minute 78 getting talked about?
I was in a Mexican restaurant, and a woman recognized me. I was with a friend who I hadn't seen in like years, and and they came over, and the staff gave me 2 drinks for free, and they were like, "The woman over there bought you a drink," and I was like, "Oh, okay." And then later she came over and was like, "Hi, I'm a big fan." I'm like, "Thank you. This drink was amazing. It was like $15." I was like, "This is great."
Oh, that's very nice. Recently I have probably been, okay, I don't know what the number is, but let's just say 99.9% of my interactions are with male viewers.
Yeah, of course, of course.
I have had 2 interactions with like adult, like female, like kids, whatever. But
right.
There's been 2 with adult females. One was like 2 weeks ago, like just walking in Central Park, and some girl with her boyfriend. And she was like, "I love your videos." I was like, "Oh shit, he didn't say that." And then the other one was a woman at a bagel place, and she was like, "Are you Gotham Chess? Your face is always." She's like, "Your face is always on our living room screen because my boyfriend watches your videos." And I was like, "I'm so sorry."
You have a very recognizable face as well, I think.
I think the hair too.
Yeah. I see. I look so generically white in like the UK, where like I don't think I got recognized that much because of it.
But you know, we know when they notice us.
Yeah. You can tell. I think when I speak, I get recognized more.
Okay,
like, because they can like confirm it. They're like, "All right, that's a deep ass voice. I know that guy."
Yeah, that for me would do it. I mean, I've noticed people literally just be like, you know, follow me with their eyes and then like freak the fuck, and then I like already turn the corner. So that happened recently. But yeah, oh my god, I think I've probably told this story, but it's poor guy. He's gonna hear it again. Like I said, the guy in the pharmacy just walked like the back of the pharmacy. I'm like, how did he even get here?
Yeah.
And homie was like,
did he give you some free Xanax or something?
No, dude, but we had a very similar like experience that you just had. Like, you know, he said my name. I was like, yeah, and then he just didn't say anything. And he's like, I thought you lived in a different borough. Like he was like, I thought you lived in the Bronx. I was like, I don't.
Bro, come on, don't out me like this, man. Come on.
And
don't
there was one that ties for second, but and then this guy like didn't say anything, and Lucy's just there. And I'm like, you want to like grab a selfie? And he was like, oh, I mean, I didn't really want to. But okay, sure. And I was like, all right. And then we took but like I have the opposite, dude. I have people like ask for selfies and they're shaking, like they're so nervous. You know, I'm like, dude.
Yeah, it's for I'm very cute when people are like that. You know.
Yes.
I really miss meeting viewers. Like I used to go to anime conventions all the time. And I'm used to just have like 3 days of just meeting fans and viewers. I loved it.
Is there like a VidCon in Asia or no?
No, not really. No, not unless like there's stuff like that in Japan, but it's mainly for Japanese creators, not like foreign. So yeah, it's fun. I mean, they have their conventions, but I think they're pretty bad.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah. Oh my god, I was completely forgetting the second one. But yeah, I've had a fun ride with people coming up to me and asking for stuff, and
it's just interesting. You know, you never, because it always catches you off guard. You never expect like, hey, I'm going to be recognized in 10 minutes.
No, you don't. I mean, I've had it like I've been in, you know, getting medicine completely masked up, like head to toe. And speaking of that, just for fun, is there a big like anti-vax movement in Japan? Like what is?
No, not that I know of. I know there's people who are like cautious, but as far as I know, there's not like a widely publicized anti-vax group.
Okay. No Facebook groups. Is Facebook allowed there?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just curious what big tech stuff is.
They have everything. Twitter is really popular here.
Yeah, dude, I noticed, like, the first thing I noticed about you, I was like, oh my god, he has such insane engagement on Twitter. Are those people from Japan?
No, like all Americans.
Whoa, what? I thought...
Yeah, it's my audience is like all American. I have like no Japanese audience.
Wait, really?
Yeah, they're like it's like 0.1% or something. I have like more Swedish viewers than Japanese viewers.
Is that weird?
No, because Japanese people don't speak English at all. It's they're like really bad at English.
Oh, and is there a conscious effort to not like make it super widespread?
So no, they actually did for a long time, but people just don't use it when they leave high school. So people just forget. So sometimes you'll come across people who are fluent, and sometimes you'll come across people who are pretty good, but it's so sporadic.
Oh, that's fascinating.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I remember I was going to like talk a little bit to you about that.
Yeah.
But that's wow.
Yeah, it's my audience is entirely English speaking. It's like mainly American, British, Philippines, and Canada, and all that. Like,
I remember you being like, was there some meme of you having a 93% female audience?
That was way back. My very first videos, if you go back, it was I was I was doing like this, playing this character from this anime who's like a British butler demon thing, and he has a very like suave and seductive voice.
Kind of like you.
You kind of, I guess. Yeah, I guess. I appreciate it. And so that's I was doing content, kind of like doing fun content with that character, and it very much attracted a female audience. At one point, my audience was 93% female. Now it's not at all. It's not even close. But
what is it? What is it now?
It's like 50-50. Sometimes more male, depends on the month.
I'm really. 97 and 3, so.
Holy shit, are you serious?
Yeah. 97 male,
shit.
Obviously.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Hello, shout out to all the males and the 4 females watching this.
Yeah. Actually, that was going to be one of the last things I asked you about was like how do you handle like dating life? I mean, and you would never feature it in a video. Yeah, I mean, is it like something that you get asked about a lot? Is it like,
it's something people ask me about a lot, and it's just like I don't mind talking about past experiences, but if something was ongoing, I wouldn't speak about it. Like I probably at some point, but I've learned from my mistakes.
Okay.
I used to speak about when I had significant others or anything like that, or I was seeing people, and I hated the whole dance of having to explain when you are no longer with someone. Because I was at that point where I wasn't having stable relationships.
Yeah.
And it was like, because I was like 22. So like, yeah, it was, and I would get like really beat up about it too. And but I'm a slave to my work now, so it doesn't matter anyway.
Yeah, and I imagine it's also tricky because if you start introducing a person and then it doesn't doesn't work out, then you're gonna introduce the next person. It's like weird because
it's I don't hold it against anyone who wants to show their significant other on camera. Me personally, I've been doing this long enough now where I've just like I want my private life private and I want my public life public. So it's something that I wouldn't parade around.
I started this journey like I didn't really want to stream a whole lot with Lucy just from the standpoint of exposing her to how gross it can be. But now
yeah.
Now she streams with me, people in the chat.
If it works, right? And you feel like comfortable in the relationship, right? Then it's not a big deal, right? It's whatever you want it to be.
Yes, I mean once you build a foundation and you kind of you're planning for the future, like you don't care if someone writes something terrible or
like this is me. Like I would talk about my if I went back when I had a girlfriend of like 1 month, I would be like, hey guys, it's my girlfriend, and I'm like, I'm a fucking idiot because like it was over like 2 months later. Like so I just kind of learned from my mistakes.
That makes a lot of sense.
It's probably something I would talk about when I felt like if I found someone and it got super stable, like really stable. Like then I would be like, I wouldn't give a shit. I would be like, oh yeah, by the way.
It's also probably another can of worms of what Japanese dating culture is like.
Oh fuck, man. Yeah, no, fuck that. It'd be tough.
I'm gonna let you go with just asking you what's next. What can we expect?
I don't know, man. I'm really, really hell bent on streaming recently, man. I've been really enjoying it a lot. I've been really enjoying the types of content you can make while streaming. I've just been loving it, man. It's been so fun. Really love streaming.
But I stopped because the ROI is so much better on YouTube. You don't
100%. Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah. It is like, when the Twitch leaks came out, I was saying this, right? I'm like, that's a lot of money. But I'm telling you, man, the people on YouTube are making hand over fist compared to what people on Twitch are making.
Yeah, I think Ludwig in some videos said like if you're at the top of YouTube, you could make 9 figures. Which
you can make insane money. Like YouTube, being like a mid-tier YouTube creator is much better than being a mid-tier Twitch creator. Are we
mid-tier? Are we mid-tier?
I feel mid-tier. I don't know.
Okay, we're mid-tier. Fuck it.
Because I feel like Mr. Beast is like the fucking top of the top. And then there's people hanging around 5 to 10 million. And then there's us. And then there's like 1 million and then lower. I don't know. To be honest, the way I see it, right? You can have 2 million subs, but your effect on the community can be big, right? You can be somebody who is spoken about or a personality that everyone knows about, even if you don't have subs, right? And that's one thing that I think Twitch does really well, is that you can have a really big impact on the internet sphere, but you won't get the money, right? But you'll have a really strong brand recognition, which then can translate over to YouTube.
Yeah.
Like I have a second channel that's purely just off my Twitch, and that does very well. And you know, it's definitely a thing of like, like if you want to make money, YouTube is definitely the way. Twitch is not the way to make money. Twitch is the way to like, I just love it. Like I really, really enjoy it.
That's awesome.
But also YouTube is my main gig. So it's, the money is good. It's way more consistent. I put a lot of hours into Twitch, a lot. And it does not translate. Like 1 hour on Twitch and 1 hour on YouTube is totally different in terms of return on investment.
Yeah, absolutely. Like that's why I, stepped away, because I felt like a vegetable on Twitch. I wasn't enjoying it. I was just clicking go live. Even now I'm like kind of shooting the shit for like 3 hours, but I got a clips channel to maintain. So I didn't put up the VODs because
I mean, I think again, like you said, if you don't enjoy it, you don't enjoy it straight up. Like you don't need to do it. And I think if I felt that way, I would do it. But I enjoy it so much right now that I'm kind of like, I don't care that it's almost a waste of time. Like in terms of if we were looking at it from a perspective of which one is making the most money, like I don't do Twitch for money. I do it because I really enjoy it. And I really like how it builds a really strong connection with the audience that you have. Like the viewers on Twitch, I feel are very, very, very loyal. And I very much really appreciate that. And in some ways I wouldn't trade that.
Yeah, because a lot of them will watch on both sides. So if they're spending time in their day and they have such a huge selection of streamers to stream from, that's why I don't stream when you stream. That's deliberate, because I would lose all my view count. So
fuck off.
They'd all be over there, and
yeah, man.
I remember back in the day, I was streaming very early morning, and that was right around when you were ending. And then
I used to always throw the raids towards you.
I know. I felt bad because I was like, but now I don't stream at all. So there you go. So now you I've been streaming more, so if I stream, I can hit you with a raid like a 10 p.m. 9 a.m.
man, I
raid.
appreciate. It's all appreciated. I don't care about that. I just want to have fun and meet cool people, and it was a pleasure getting to meet you through all of this. And it's been a nice friendship to have, over the time.
I think so too. I think I really want to go to Japan, so hopefully within the next year
and then I'll take you around. I'll get you to eat some fish.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Hell yeah, man, it's fun. Thanks for having me on the podcast, man. This was a lot of fun. I really appreciate it. I hope your viewers don't mind not too much chess talk. I hope they enjoyed it.
I think they will. Is there something you'd like the viewers to type in the YouTube comment section to let us know they made it this far?
I don't know. What do you? Oh shit! I didn't think.
Gotta be something Japanese, man. I don't know. Like, what's your favorite Japanese food?
Ramen, I guess.
What kind of ramen? Give me like a.
Oh, tonkatsu. Is it tonkatsu? Tonkatsu. Sorry, tonkatsu ramen.
Okay. Well, now they can tell us.
They love tonkatsu. Just say you love tonkatsu in the comments.
Or tell us which kind of ramen you actually like. I really like ramen.
Bro, it's good here. It's good. It's good.
But I like, I'm getting the Japanese restaurant New York City ramen. I'm not getting the Tokyo ramen. So
you'll have a good time. You'll have a good time. And it's been fun, man.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun having you on, man. And We should find some time to collab. That would
Yeah,
be
dude, I'm down
fun.
to do more chess, man. I God knows I need to practice more.
Awesome. Yeah, I would
All right.
love to collab on some video game, but if not, then then chess is the way to go.
All right. Yeah, I mean, what games you playing right now?
Chess.
No. Download Apex, install Apex.
I've never played Apex, so okay.
We'll see. That'll be a fun stream.
That might be fun. As always, folks, if you made it this far, I just want to say thank you for your continued support of the podcast. And you know where to find me if you'd like to support me. And until next time, I will see you back for more consistent episodes right back here in Gotham City with our next guests.